I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making chocolate decorations. We're gilding the lily. We're putting on the beautiful little pair of pearls on that plain black dress. In other words, we're going to up our game with our desserts. We're going to make them outstandingly spectacular by putting a little something extra, that je ne sais quoi, on top of our cake, on top of our pudding, on top of our pies, cupcakes, whatever you want to do for this holiday season. And today I thought I would do maple leaves. It's really fun. But before I get started showing you what I do in chocolate, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're pretty good. And I love having you in my kitchen. It's really, really great fun to have you here. So once we decide what we want to do, so in this case, I've decided I'm going to do maple leaves. I went online and I got a picture of maple leaves, believe it or not, from a horticultural website, and I'm going to bring them up close to you so you can see them. So they have very fine lines on them, but they are maple leaves. And a little information, probably a little too much information. There are a lot of maple leaves. There's all different types, like several different types. So I thought I'd get something that would really work well in chocolate. So I make copies. All right, there was one maple leaf and I just made a copy, so I got 8 of them. I'm putting them on a sheet pan facing me. And then I'm taking a piece of, you can use parchment, but I'm using wax paper, and I'm going to put them over the maple leaves so that I see all the maple leaves perfectly. And then I'm going to take a little tape, and I'm just going to tape down my wax paper, all right? Not where the chocolate would go, but just enough that it will secure the wax paper so it won't move. All right, and you want a flat surface when you do this. And then what you do is you're going to melt confectionery coating, you know, those candy melts. So there's no tempering, nothing fancy, nothing hard to do, and anybody can do this. It's super easy. So I've done this with coconut trees and palm trees, and I've done this with leaves and flowers. So I just have a plain pastry bag that I cut in half. I whacked it in half so it's half the size. And I put a very, very tiny tip. This is a number 3 tip, but you can use anything you want. You can even use a plastic baggie, a frozen freezer bag, and just cut the tip off. So I'm going to cuff it, make a cuff in it so you can get all your chocolate in there and really push that tip down because we don't want any leakage. This is very fine work. All right, so I've melted some confectionery coating, you know, those chips, those, you know, candy melts, and I put it over a double boiler. And I filled the saucepan with about 1 inch of water, brought it to a boil, took it off the heat, and then put this small bowl of the confectionery coating on top. And you don't need a lot. This is way more than enough. But if you don't use it, you can actually take a bowl, put some wax paper in the bowl, pour this in to the bowl, let it harden at room temperature, wrap it up in plastic or in a bag, and remelt it for another time. For another time of fun. So I'm going to take, once I have this melted, you take it off the heat and wipe down under the bowl so you don't get any water in your chocolate. Water and chocolate go together like the Wicked Witch of the West and water from The Wizard of Oz. They don't mix, okay? Not good things happen. The chocolate will seize up and you'll have to throw it out. So don't do that. So then I sort of let the chocolate cool down a little bit, so it gets a little more viscous. And if you let it cool down too much, it will harden. So you don't want to do that. So I think I'm just there, and I can also hold on to the bottom, and it's not hot. It's barely warm. So I'm going to get my little bag. It's so cute. And my little tip, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm just going to put about a tablespoon in. That's all I need. That's all I need. Very, very tiny amount. Make sure you do this over the bowl of chocolate so you don't have chocolate everywhere. And then I'm just going to squeeze it down. Squeeze it down, but do this upside down or else you're going to lose a little chocolate. And I always have a little paper towel next to me so I can always wipe it off. You want a very clean, it's like working with a pencil. You really want a clean, flat surface of your writing instrument. And this is our writing instrument today. So I'm going to go over to one of my leaves, and you're not going to be able to see this as well, but I'm going to show you afterwards. I'm going to follow the lines of the maple leaf, and I'm going to exaggerate them a little so I see them in chocolate. So I'm going to start going down, up, down, and then there's a lot of curves in this maple leaf. A lot of curves. I'm going to go down and make a nice little stem, and I'm going to go around and down and up. Take your time. Go slow when you do this. Okay? So you can see there's just a little outline now, and now we have to get the veins of the maple. Okay? So we're just going to make a line. And then I make another line because that's where the veins are going to come out of. But we want enough structure to this maple leaf or whatever you make so that you can take it once it hardens. It's going to firm up either in the fridge or at room temperature. That's what's so great about this confectionery coating. And then what you're going to do is just peel it off. Very carefully peel it off. So it's a very easy thing to do. It's a very, very easy thing to do. And again, you can choose anything you want to do. You could do a picture of yourself. You could do whatever you want to do. Get it on the computer and then take this piece of paper and actually put it underneath some wax paper. And you have these beautiful maple leaf. You can do this in milk chocolate. You could do this in dark chocolate. You could do this in anything you want. So I'm going to make one here, and you can see what it looks like. I don't want to hold it up for too long, but the chocolate's nice and viscous, so it's not dripping down. All right, so you want to see that. All right, and then once that hardens, you'll see I'm going to do just one more for you. And in here, if you don't keep moving, move it, it will harden inside here. So you want to make sure that the tip doesn't get too firm, the chocolate doesn't get too firm so it won't come out. So I'm going to do one more for you. Start at the top of the tip. And I like maple leaves this time of year, right? The holidays are coming and you want to make it nice and festive. So this would be great on a pecan pie, on top of a pumpkin pie, on top of some beautiful chocolate pudding. And look out in the next couple of weeks. I may be using this for a few desserts to garnish. So yes, this is a garnish. And, baking should not just be baking. It should also be the garnish and the whole works. You want to make sure everything is beautiful when you are baking, and it is garnished very attractively because that's what makes it that much better. So I'm a firm believer of that. I love to garnish. I love to take even that plain little chocolate cake and make it that much better by actually just wowing everybody. And sometimes they don't even see the dessert or the cake, which gets me angry, but they see the garnish. All right. So after I filled all these up, and again, this is just an example, you put it in the fridge, and then you take it off the paper, the wax paper, and I don't want it, remember, this is still breakable. You take it and you can actually put this on any dessert you want. and it is just a stunning dessert. Can you just see that sticking out of a chocolate cake with frosting around it? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now get yourself some of this chocolate. Go get yourself a really great small picture that you can do and make this out of chocolate. And I hope you show me what you've done. Send me some pictures on YouTube. I'd love to see them, or Instagram. So I hope you make these beautiful decorations and decorate away for the holidays, and just say you learned it from Chef Gail. Become a subscriber, and I'll see you next time.